Hi everybody, this is Kevin and welcome back to another video. And today I would like to share my thoughts on Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest episode 23, which was another really fun episode. We got to see Suzaku in action as he took on Selene. And of course there's still two more Moonlight Divinities. Urza defeated Yoko last week, but there's still Mimi and Hakune. And I guess you can say we get a Lucy-centered episode in the second half of episode 23 here, as she takes on Mimi. And then it looks like next week we're going to see more of Gray versus Hakune. So, lots of good stuff. I've been talking about, how they're going to wrap up the first season here. With only 2 episodes to go, it's going to be a cliffhanger ending, but they're moving at a really quick pace, so they are going to finish this arc, and I'm honestly shocked because they adapted so many chapters per episode here, but it's a good thing. It's really been a great adaptation, and I think I will do a final video after I finish covering episode 24 and 25 in the subsequent weeks and just go over the whole series again, especially after watching the English dub. But anyway, the episode begins with one of those bonus chapters. This one is called Sloppy Juvia. And it's after the battle against Alderaan, but if you remember, all our heroes, at least Team Natsu, plus the Exceeds, and Toka, and Faris, all went over to Edelus, and then Elantir, and then Greg just disappears. So, Juvia's all around, I'm like, oh my Gray-sama, oh Gray-sama, what is your reason to be here for? Because in that one battle against Metro, Gray said that Juvia is my reason to live, and Juvia keeps talking about that, and Gray's like, oh, leave me alone, you crazy woman. So, here she is just thinking about taking care of him. Which, what is Gray doing? Is he turning into Kata over there? He's got a bottle of wine just chilling on the couch, and Juvia's doing his laundry and stuff. And then as they're talking, you remember Natsu and the rest of them all started glowing blue, and then they got teleported to Edelus. The same thing happens to Gray, and Juvia's sulking here like, no, Gray-sama left me, oh, I can't. And then, Kana says, have a drink, Juvia, it's all good. And Mira and Lasana are just looking at her like, get a hold of yourself, will you? So, the actual episode begins with Natsu confronting Suzaku, and if you remember, they were battling all the yokai, but Natsu ran off because a Tanuki stole his scarf. So he had to go find his scarf, which he does. And he confronts Suzaku. And Suzaku's like, what are you, a pervert? What are you doing running around shirtless? And he starts like LARPing over here. I was reincarnated in another world. So they're isekai'd over to Elantir. And they start bonding because, they got similar attire on. Well, Natsu's not wearing a shirt, but, the hair red and pink, and they both have fire attribute. And Natsu's like, yeah, you're not too bad, Suzaku, you're a good friend of mine. He starts patting him on the back, and then everyone shows up again. He tells Urza, look, Urza, I got my scarf, I found it. Oh, very well, Natsu, great job. And then we see Lucy wearing her Aquarius star dress. I had to include that for Lucy Booba action, of course. And they're mocking Natsu because he's not wearing a shirt. Meanwhile, Lucy's running around her bathing suit there. And then Gray shows up wearing nothing. And Natsu's like, business as usual. Gray's all shocked. Happy is just placed there. And Wendy, I can't look at that. I shouldn't look. What is the meaning of this? And Suzaku's just starts laughing like a madman. Like, you're a strange bunch, but I like you. And he goes to the corner, starts laughing. And Gray still has no shirt on. Well, no shirt and no pants. And Happy's just blocking him. And now Urza's scolding him. Get some clothes, will you, Gray? What are you doing? So Suzaku's just continuing to laugh. Because he's like, these people are fucking nuts. And then what happens is they start talking about, more of where they're from. And Suzaku says that he's on a mission to slay Selene. Was sent by Diabolus by his guild and said to watch out for Fairy Tail. Because, they're my enemies. And he starts naming them all, like the fire dragon with the pink hair, the knight with the red hair, the blonde celestial spirit, the little sky dragon, the black-haired ice mage, and 2 cats. And then as he says that, he's like, oh shit, that's Fairy Tail right there. And he gets ready to attack them. And you see how he's holding his blade, his katana, and he one-shots. First, he hits Urza. You see her sword severed right there? Destroys her blade, slashes her, and also one-shots Natsu. And then Selene shows up. She's like, oh, you're You're doing my dirty work for me. Look at you, Suzaku. And she's here with Hakune and Mimi. Remember, Yoko was defeated, so just by herself. And our heroes decide to make a run for it, because it's like, alright, Suzaku's destroying Natsu and Urza, our strongest fighters. And now we have Selene and Hakune and Mimi, so let's get the hell out of here. To which Hakune and Mimi start chasing after Team Natsu, and then Suzaku gets ready to face off against Selene. And it's been a while since I had screenshots, but here, I have my manga screenshots as well. There's some comparisons. Have at you! Now come! The magical powers of the moon will kill you! And this was the end of one of the chapters, too, to be continued. But, yeah, it looks really good. I thought, you know, pretty good adaptation right there. You see, with the one, it has Suzaku's eye covered, but, you know, just little details. So, there's Hakune and Mimi chasing after them like a mad woman. And Mimi has the stamina. Hakune's like, I'm tired. So Mimi's like, I'll carry you, my lady. Let's go. And she starts sprinting even more. There's Selene continuing her fight against Suzaku. And she has like this moonlight butterfly attack, to which Suzaku is just waiting for it to strike back. And he does this. What does it say? Deposing of the realm of death. That's from the Fairy Tail Wiki. I got that screenshot. And you see Suzaku is making quick work of Selene. You see he attacks her real quick and she starts bleeding and she's shocked right there. And gets all pissed off. You see the menacing look in her eyes. And she's like, oh, that's it. Starts bleeding even more. And then look at that menacing look right there. She's like, oh, I've had it with you. And here's another comparison to the manga. Come, let us see what happens when I get a little serious after so long, shall we? And, you know, this isn't even my final form. I can transform into a dragon. But it just goes to show you that Selene, of course, she's a human. She's not going to take him seriously, even though Suzaku's a dragon slayer as well. But, you know, she's not using her full power. But now she's pissed because she's bleeding a little. And, yeah, great adaptation right there. The way they handled the eyes and the shadows and everything. Really enjoy that. So, Selene continues with a new barrage of attacks. Death Beam! Ha! I love that shot right there. And I guess got some full pages here with Selene. I guess maybe we can zoom in to get more of a close look at the screenshot and that panel. But that's like the same pose and everything. So, good stuff right there. Formidable. You were this strong, Moondragon God. So they're continuing their battle right there. And you see the death beams. And they're pretty evenly matched, despite the fact that I don't think they're using their full power at this time. So as these two continue to battle each other, it actually cuts over to Mercphobia and Caramel. Now remember, these two are on Earthland, as opposed to Suzaku, Selene, and then Team Natsu over on Elantir, a different planet, or really an entirely different realm. So Earthland is feeling the after effects of the battle as Mercphobia and Caramel's area starts flooding. And there's that one guy, remember from the very beginning of the series, he turned into a fish and he had the one line, he'd go, no way! He starts saying, no way, no way! And Mercphobia and Caramel are just watching, so cool stuff right there. Our heroes take Natsu and Urza to the Shrine Maiden, the old lady we saw earlier a few episodes ago, as well as Faris and Toka. And then the old lady starts like looking at Gray like, oh, look at this hunk with no shirt on. He's my kind of man. But, you know, they're agreeing to look after Natsu and Urza. And then almost immediately after this scene, Mimi and Hakune show up because remember, they're pursuing our heroes and Mimi was running at a pretty brisk pace. So they're there, and we have the matchups, of course. So, of course, with everyone out of commission, it's up to Gray and Lucy to save the day. Gray is going to be facing Hakune, which will take place next week in episode 24. And then for the remainder of this episode, we had Lucy versus Mimi. So here we have the comparison to the manga, which I guess I was a little lazy this week, not getting individual screenshots and opting for full pages, but what can you do? We're winding down this series. I'm just doing the least I can, I guess. But anyway, there's Mimi and Hakune, and then Gray and Lucy. So you get an idea right there. And then you have Happy, which, yeah, Happy, of course, was reunited with Toka. And Carla's getting all jealous. So you got that cute little scene. And then the battle begins with Lucy versus Mimi, where we get the all-powerful Lucy kick. Quite possibly the most powerful attack in all of anime. And it's not really phasing Mimi. You see right there, she's not even moving. She's not even flinching. And she does a couple of Lucy kicks, and then eventually a Lucy punch, if you can believe that. And then Mimi questions her, like, is every attack named after yourself? Like, that's pretty lame. But then Mimi starts doing the Mimi kick. So, taking after Lucy, I suppose. So here's Lucy doing a double Lucy kick using the Stardress Gemini form. And that's the real Lucy in the Stardress, and that's Gemini, the duplicate. But man, what is going on with Gemini Lucy's face right there? Let me see if I can zoom in. It's just like her eyes, everything about it just looks kind of weird, doesn't it, compared to the regular Lucy? Which, I know this is a screenshot from the anime, so it's constantly moving, but I just thought this was a funny screenshot. And here's more comparison to the manga right there. Double Lucy kick, where you see it's drawn much better. And, like, you got more booba action in the manga, even. Like, what's going on there? That's all, like, a big blob of booba, whereas this, you could at least differentiate the two. So, yeah, is kicking the only technique in your repertoire? And aren't you just putting your own name in your attacks? How plain! And then Mimi takes after that and starts doing the Mimi kick and all that. So, who names attacks after themselves? And look at Lucy's face as she's getting scolded. And even the Gemini Lucy, like, yeah, that is pretty unoriginal, Lucy. You have to come up with better names. And Lucy's like, come on, I'm trying. I'm doing the Lucy kick. So, Mimi does Mimi kick. And knocks Lucy back. But then what Lucy does is, you see that she was in the Gemini form earlier, she was in the Aquarius form. She starts changing into the different forms from Leo to Virgo, all the different forms. And Mimi concedes and says, wow, you're stronger from our last fight only a few hours ago. What happened? And Lucy said, you know, she was reunited with her old friend Aquarius and had a heart-to-heart and believes in herself more. To which Mimi kneels and is like, wow, I'm envious of you. But you know what? I'm going to get even stronger. This isn't in my final form. And Mimi ends up going Super Saiyan. Would you look at that? So Lucy's completely shocked there. She's like, what the fuck? How am I going to combat this? But she finds a little pond and is able to summon Aquarius again. Because remember, we're on Ellen tier. Everyone has limitless magic here. So Aquarius has been summoned. And this gives Lucy enough time to use her ultimate spell. Something we haven't seen in quite some time. Here's comparison to Aquarius in the manga, which people were making a big deal when Aquarius originally returned because there was a weird screenshot of her. She had a big forehead, but, you know, it looks great. She looks great. So, she has a little smirk there. She's doing her incantation, and Lucy finally uses Uranomatria for the first time in the 100 Years Quest series. Of course, she used it a number of times in the original Fairy Tail series. I think the first time she used it was against Angel or Sorano during the Arashion Sace arc. She used it against Flare. Tartaros, probably one of the most famous instances. But she was using Aquarius to distract Mimi so she can do the incantation and to amplify the power with Gemini with the clone right there. And look at that. For true men of culture, you get that screenshot, but you love to see it. And the twin yokai from before. I've been letting Gemini handle the incantation. This spell is powerful, but the downside, it takes time for the chant. Yeah, to do the incantation for the attack. And then she does Uranomatria! And what an awesome shot right there, sending Mimi flying, defeating Mimi once and for all. And there's your comparison right there. That's about as good as you can get, man. I love it. And sends Mimi flying and defeats her. And she's passed out standing on her feet because Mimi still has so much endurance that even though she was defeated, it kind of reminds me of Lord of the Rings when Gandalf, when he was asleep, but he had his eyes open. And who was it? Was it Yeah, it was Pippin who stole the eye for Sauron or whatever. You guys remember that from, was that the third movie? Anyway, that's all for this episode. One more thing I did want to show you guys, though, was the cover of Volume 10, because we are well into Volume 10. We're going to finish Volume 10 at the way we're going, so. But this gives you an idea of our heroes there. Selene versus Suzaku, Hakune, and Mimi, and we're going to get super sexy Hakune next week Of course, we saw a little tease of her a few episodes ago when she recovered Natsu and Gray. And then there's Lucy in the Virgo star dress, which we saw that. Well, here's the manga panel, but you saw that a little earlier here. Very good stuff. You know I love Lucy, so I always like to show those scenes off for all the Lucy fans out there. And I love seeing her use Uranometria again. One of the most powerful attacks in the entire series, honestly. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below, and stay tuned for more videos coming soon. I guess we should probably end with the actual anime instead of the manga one. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Like I said, we have episode 24 and episode 25. Kind of sad to see it go, but at the same time, you know, move on to other things, and all good things have to end at some point, right? So I'll definitely be covering both of those episodes, as well as doing a final fairy tale video after I finish watching all the dubbed episodes and just put a bookend on season 1. So thanks, guys. Have a great day, and we will talk to you later. Peace out.
99.